Okay, so the next one we are gonna look at is the Supreme Court Packing Act. It is reform. Okay? What Roosevelt is planning to do is he's trying to expand the Supreme Court. This would have been a vile attempt to break down the delicate checks and balances amongst the three branches of government. The reason why he wants to do it, and I'm not even to what it's doing, the reason why he wants to do it, and this was on your study guide, is that the Supreme Court is declaring several of his New Deal programs unconstitutional, such as the AAA and the NRA. So what this program was going to do, he was going to add in more like-minded judges to the courts to support his New Deal legislation. So what political party would these judges have been? What political party? Democratic. And so what would that have done to his power? He's not taking away judges. He's adding in 6 more judges to the court. What would that have done to the power of the presidency at this time? It would have increased his power. Do you think they're going to let him do this? No, Congress says, whoa, whoa, Roosevelt, you are too much of a dictator. This would have been too socialistic. This is expanding it. This is taking down this checks and balances. So Congress does not let him do this. So is this going to help any people? No, because does this pass? No. So you're going to have on your test, hint, hint, whoever's going to watch this later, you're going to have a political cartoon, and Roosevelt is in the Supreme Court, and there's some judges that are on the court, and then there's some judges he wants to add. So how should the judges look that he's trying to add in? How should they look if he's trying to add people who are like-minded? They should look like him. Just FYI, they're going to look like him. And that's referring to the Supreme Court Packing Act. Does this happen? No. If it did, what would have happened to the power of the presidency? It would have gone up. Okay. No one, because it never passed. All right, the next one. The United States Housing Authority, it's Relief, Recovery, and Reform, so R, and R. This agency was designed to lend money to communities, so it's going to lend money to states, to communities, for low-cost construction, and I don't know why I have a period there, for 650,000 units created for low-income people. They're going to create buildings for low-income people, because what do you think they're going to do there? Buildings and low-income people, what do you think they're going to do there? Live there, because where were most people living? Hooverville, shanty towns. This is the commencement of the projects. Have you ever heard of the projects? The red bricks? Okay. How many of y'all know where Burleson Honey is? Okay, off on Gensendinger Road. There's some red bricks right there, and if you look at the sign, it's going to say the United States Housing Authority. We are creating, because have we done stuff to help homeowners stay in their homes? But we still have people living in these Hoovervilles, these shanty towns. And so this is an attempt for the government to do something for those people. And so it's going to create the brick wall. Have you ever heard of the projects, like when gangsters rap or anything like that? I don't even know if y'all listen to gangsters rap. Thank you. No, like Eminem would always I don't even know who Eminem is. What Eminem? Okay, he always talks about the projects in his stuff. No, you probably never heard of him. Okay. Can I move on to the next one? Everybody knows who Eminem is. This helps people, right? This helps. Is it all people? The low-income people who don't have homes. And this is eventually going to be the first time that we see all those slums that we saw during the Gilded Age. Remember those pictures we saw of the slums? They're going to go away because the projects are going to come in. Are the projects going to be well kept? No, at this time they're going to be nice, but eventually over time, the amount of money the federal government's going to provide into the projects is going to shrink. Right? So, the second Agricultural and Adjustment Act. So what probably happened to the first one? It failed because who declared it unconstitutional? Supreme Court. So what this is going to do is create artificial scarcity. So I'm going to skip all this stuff and go to this one. Right? It's going to basically create scarcity, do we have a lot of a product or less of a product? Less, and so what's going to happen to price? So that's what they're going to do. They're going to ask farmers not to farm. Okay, so that means they're farming less. They're paying them not to farm. So prices go which way? Why would people be upset? They're farming less. We're paying them not to farm. Think of America at this time. Think of your tummies at this time. They're starving. The government is paying farmers not to farm. People are starving. And do they have wages enough to be able to pay those higher prices? So how do you think people are going to feel about the AAA? Upset because this is a policy that's not helping. So the AAA would eliminate price-depressing surpluses by paying growers to reduce their crop acreage. And are people going to be upset with this? Yes, the hungry people. You and your tummies right now, you're thinking about lunch, right? Right? And we're going to see, basically they're going to put a tax on the people who process the food. And that's it. I'm not even going to read anything more. Is it going to be popular, AAA? Who is it going to be popular to? It's not helping me and the hungry tummy person. Who is it helping? The farmers who are getting these subsidies not to grow. Wait, are y'all ready for the next one? Yes, no, maybe so. Okay. The Fair Labor Standards Act, it's Relief, Reform, Recovery, so R, and R. We're going to see this involve interstate commerce. Anybody involved in interstate commerce was to set up a minimum wage. Have we heard this before? Yes. And maximum hours. So what do y'all know is, y'all know minimum wage, but what's the max hours? And it stems from this act because the eventual goal was 40 cents a day. That was their minimum wage, later raised, and 40 hours a week. So the concept of a 40-hour work week really comes from the New Deal. And children under the age of 16 was forbidden in interstate commerce. So no more child labor, right? Children under the age of 16 was forbidden labor by them. I don't know why last semester I just didn't do this. I was trying to highlight it and it was horrible, right? Even then, this is still horrible. The people involved in interstate commerce. Oh, my phone's right there. Can I go to the next one? How many do we have? We just have one more, right? Yes. The Hatch Act. It is reform. Interstate commerce. Okay. The Hatch Act. Oh gosh, this is great. Okay. It's going to bar federal administrative officials except the highest policy-making officers. Highest policy. Who do you think the highest policy maker is in the United States? The president. So it's only administrative officials. So I don't know if y'all know in Waxahachie there's a treasury lady. Her name is Cheryl Chambers, right? Is she the highest making or is she an administrative official? Okay, so it's saying that they are barred from active political campaigning and soliciting where they work. So for example, Cheryl Chambers, y'all work for Cheryl Chambers in Waxahachie, says y'all must go vote for me. Can she do that according to this? No. The other thing is she is forbidden from the use of government funds for political purposes. So can she go and print out all of her paper at the Waxahachie courthouse? No. So looking at this, Donald Trump next year, he's going to be campaigning. Can he use Air Force One? Except the highest policy-making officers. Can he use Air Force One? Even though it's for a political purpose, for his own. Can he use it?
Yes.
Yes. When Barack Obama was getting reelected, he used Air Force One. So he didn't have to pay for it, right? When Ted Cruz was running against Beto O'Rourke, did Ted Cruz get to use federal security officers around him? Ted Cruz? Yes. Okay? Because is he a high political office? Yes. Okay? So, basically, can you use government funds to fund your campaign? Except the president. The president can. So the Hatch Act was brought in by 1940 to place limits on campaign contributions. Woo! This is why Bill Clinton gets in trouble. Most of y'all think it's Monica Lewinsky. That's something that's happening when they're investigating him for this. This is why they're investigating him, and we'll get to that in 2000. Eventually, April, the end of April, I'll get there. Okay, so now we're done with this. And this is the other thing that, if y'all notice the Mueller investigation that's going on, this is what they're looking at, too. Was there a campaign contribution issues when he was getting stuff from Russia? If he was getting stuff from Russia. They're using this act to investigate him. Yes. This is going to help people in the government. So then you had another sheet. Oh, that's this one. Okay, the New Deal ballot sheet. There looks like some positive things that we've seen in the New Deal, and there's some negatives. So the government, was it spending a lot of money? Yes, but did the government have the money at this time? Because people were unemployed, so was the government collecting money? So how do you pay for something when you don't have the money? Well, we know they take out loans, but we can't inflate the currency. And so, because that would lead us into problems down the road. So what the government does is they take out loans. And this is called deficit spending. Deficit spending is when the government borrows. At this time, they borrow from the Federal Reserve, and they're going to pay it back later when people have money to pay the government. Okay, so do you think that's going to happen? No, and this is where we get, do y'all know how much our debt is today? 22 trillion and counting. And it's because at this time we adopt this concept of deficit spending. This is where we get our debt. This is where the commencement of it is. Next thing is corruption in the alphabet agencies. Many people said that the alphabet agencies like the CCC, the TBA, the AAA, they only helped what type of people? White farmers and white workers, or black farmers and black workers? And many people criticize it that was corruption. Also, our government is getting bigger, right? We're creating regulatory agencies such as the Securities and Exchange Commission, right? The National Labor Relations Board. Our government is getting bigger. We're becoming creeping socialism. Because what was the government doing? Helping people by providing cheap electricity with the TVA? Were they giving jobs and people not doing much?
Yes.
The next thing, many people criticize the U.S. as becoming a welfare state. What program would they say? Roosevelt, you're giving out people money that are not doing much. Social Security. And this did not end the Depression. What event will officially end the Depression?
World War II.
World War II. Did this programs at least help give relief? Yeah, but it didn't end the Depression. So the positives, it did offer relief. It did give jobs. It did give people money. We're going to see the federal government. This is the first time ever. Have we ever seen the federal government come in and help the people? No, because they've always helped who? Business. We see it's safe, free enterprise from basically socialism. Because if the workers got upset, they could have risen up, right, and taken over business. We're going to see it's going to lead to a fair distribution of income because y'all saw this last time. Remember, y'all had jobs? And they didn't have jobs? So what did we do? We took y'all's hours and did what? Cut them in half, and what did we do to their pay? Raise it up, and then we gave you those hours, right? And y'all got paid. So a fair distribution of income. What has happened to Roosevelt's power? Looking at those 4 pages of stuff. Was he a powerful president? Yes. So we see the power of the presidency increases. And it sets up the modern Democratic Party. And I have to go back to this. What are our 2 main parties? Okay. Do y'all remember who was the founder of the Democratic Party? Thomas Jefferson. TJ. He's the founder. So the Republicans originated from the Federalists, right? So who was the founder of that? Alexander Hamilton. AHAM. Okay, do y'all remember who the people the Democrats were for?
Common man.
Today is the Democratic Party still for the common man. The Republican Party, who is it for? Business. Back in this time period, what type of government did Alexander Hamilton want? Think about the bus. He wanted he wanted to pay off the debt, so did he want a big government or a small government? He wanted a big government. Does that sound like the Republicans today? So then Thomas Jefferson, who wanted state rights, what type of government did he want? Small. Okay, but at this time when Herbert Hoover is doing nothing, what party is Herbert Hoover from? Republicans, and he's doing nothing during the 20s. So does that make him big government? That makes him what? And what you've seen from all this 4 sheets is Roosevelt being small government. What is he being what? Did we just change our parties? Does this look like parties today? That the Democrats are for the common man and they want big government. And our Republicans are for business and they want small government. So now I'm going to look at this statement that is bolded, that has 2 asterisks, that has some stuff underlined. So that means it may be on the test. It probably will be on the test. You will have deja vu from today to then. So write this stuff down so your future self could be happy with you and pat yourself on the back on Tuesday or whatever day I see you. So he's going to use a Hamiltonian means. So what was the Hamiltonian means? Business or small or big government? He's going to use big government to achieve a Jeffersonian ends. So what do you think the ends was? Common man or a small government? Does he have small government on those pages? No, what do we have? A lot of helping who? The common man, the people we keep on saying, right? Gosh, I have a lot of frizz. So, Jefferson is being honored here, right? And so is Hamilton. Okay? But do y'all see how he uses big government to help the common man? Because if you count down that chart, how many times do we say the people, the people, the people? And had any president ever been concentrated on the people? No. So the last thing I have to look at is the critics. And he's going to have liberal critics and conservative critics. And I had screwed this up on the study guide because I put Huey Long on there twice, right? So Father Coughlin, he says that he wanted the government to own all of the industries. Oh, what does that sound like? Socialism. Does Roosevelt do that? No. Huey Long says that the government should take from the rich and give everybody $5,000. Do you think that would have flown over? No. Dr. Francis Townsend, he says that every old person over the age of 60 should be given $200 a month. What does that sound like? Social Security. Many people criticize AAA for paying farmers not to what? Plant, farm while people were what? So then the conservatives criticized him because if he would have added judges, would those judges been conservative or liberal? Liberal, so that's why they criticized this over here. And then Alfred Landon will run against him. Does he win? No, because did Roosevelt make their life a little bit better? Yes, but did the New Deal really end the Depression? No, it just stopped it from being so bad. It's really World War II. So what we're gonna do now is a review quiz. Oh, sorry.